Just start off with an opening segment, with an opening statement. And again, if you have a question, just raise your hand. I'll get the mic to you.
No, credit Bradley. Thought they were, played with, great toughness on both ends. Thought they, finished through contact. I thought they, made it difficult for us at the rim in the second half. We got a lot of point blank looks, and they, not fouling, but with vertical contests, really made it tough for us. We struggled to finish through contact. Thought they, got key offensive rebounds in the second half, and then, we did enough, things to shoot ourselves in the foot. We got, gifted them 3 points with 2 technicals, and we, just weren't good enough defensively. Offensively, they're a great defensive team. They hold people right around 60 a game. I think we got 67 and made 4 threes. So I mean, we did enough offensively to give ourselves a chance. Obviously, you'd like to knock a little more in than that, but our defense, our toughness, those things just weren't close to good enough against a good team.
Coach, you guys already have more overall wins than non-overall, and you already have more conference wins. But what's kind of the next stage for you guys? You guys start the year out 6-0. This is three straight losses. Is it kind of dealing with maybe some people knowing more about you guys and being respected in the league? Is it kind of sustaining some of the success you guys have built on early in this season? Like, where are you guys at in your second year here at the helm?
Well, you're in the middle of your second year, and we're trying to build a culture right now. For us to take the next step, we've got to be much tougher, physically tougher. Finishing through contact. That was an example tonight of what physical toughness looks like. And we've got to be mentally tougher. And at some point, guys got to stop, doing things that negatively impact the team. We're up 48-40 in the second half, and we get a technical foul, and that triggers a 12-0 run. They're going to be in it, 5 in the morning running, but at some point, you have to just, and we've been a little better with it. But there's a mental toughness. That's a mental toughness to play through a bad play, bad call, whatever the case may be. And there's a physical toughness. I thought when Bradley drove it, I thought in the first half we had some pretty good vertical contests and some resistance on our on-ball defense, our urgency, getting through ball screens. Our contests were really good. I thought in the second half, I thought a lot of that went away. I thought we melted in the screens. I thought, when they got the ball at the rim, our resistance wasn't great. So to answer your question, take the next step. There's a level of physical toughness, a level of mental toughness that championship teams in any sport have, and we don't right now. And we got to build that. Can you build it? I think so. I think there's a championship DNA that can be developed. I think every program, had to develop it at some point. It really becomes at a point where guys, winning and competing and finding a way across the finish line in high-level competition, because in this league, it's high-level competition. Tonight was a game against a really good team. You got to do a lot of things well for a long time to win. We did a lot of things well, just not for long enough to have a chance to win. Good teams, great teams, elite teams, play for 40 minutes. We've shown that we can be elite, but we haven't shown that we can do it over a 40-minute game. And that's the next step for us is to have some level of mental toughness that allows us to persevere through difficulties, and then a physical toughness that allows us to play through, finish through contact, provide the right resistance. And at the end of the day, we can talk about our shooting, and we're 4 for 20 from 3 or whatever we were the last 6 games we're shooting 26% from 3. You got to find ways to win. Good teams win when they don't make shots. If you're a good team, if you only win when you make shots, you're just not a good team. So we can harp on that and everything. We had some good looks that didn't go down and all that, but that's the next step for us.
Second half all year has kind of just been the Achilles heel of this team. It just seems like it doesn't matter how good of a first half you have. That second half, especially that first 8, make or breaks you. And it kind of got you again today, like you said. With the Voss tee starts the 12-0 run just right out the gates for you, and your backs are against the wall, and you're fighting uphill the rest of the way. What's going to take to kind of get that over you the hill, so that second half comes out, you come out with the same intensity you have at tip-off?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's something I got to look at everything we're doing. I don't know. It's obviously not a one-off. But then the Missouri State game, we're down 15 second half. We rally back some. But time and time again, we it's the same story. I get tired of talking to them the same post game. Today we're up double digits in the first half, and we get to halftime, we're up 7, I think, 5 at half, and put it back to 8 there with whatever it was to go in the second half. Voss gets that technical foul, but it's coming out and it's playing with the same level of urgency and desperation that you do at the beginning of the game, and that takes mental toughness to do that and persevere. I mean, we played guys more minutes tonight, but we've had times where we played guys less minutes. It's had different guys in the game. We've tried different, people. I may have to change our halftime routine. I have no idea. But I've never had a team that has such a dramatic contrast between what we do in the first half and how hard we play. And you see it in the pace of how we play offensively and how hard we're cutting and moving and sharing the basketball. And then, and the same thing defensively, how we're slotting second half. We get driven, open our hips, we get bent, we're late with rotations, we switch stuff we shouldn't switch, and we get bullied on the block and on the glass. And, and it's happened to us multiple times. We haven't had the competitive stamina to finish games, and I've got to look at everything we're doing from practice to, what we're doing at halftime and figure it out. Obviously, if I knew, I'd fix it, but I'm going to, do everything I can to try to fix it. I do think, we've shown when we're right and we're turned up, we're a really good basketball team. Again, but that we're not a good basketball team because we can't do it. We're not consistent. We're consistently inconsistent. So that's what's holding us back from taking the next step. And there's we got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, we've got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. I don't know. Obviously, like I said, it's been talked about, it's been addressed, it's consequenced. At some point, though, there's got to be, we got to stop doing it.
I mean, you led me right into the next one of Indiana State basketball this year. It has a lot of excitement about it, but one of the things that people are talking about is, they're also really good at getting technical fouls. What from a coaching standpoint can you guys do to try and get this through to these guys that, hey, the stuff that, you're accustomed to doing, the NBC officials are just not having it this year?
Yeah, I mean, all the criticism, that we receive on that stuff to me is, I'll take it, as deserved. I mean, obviously, as a coach, not putting your head in the sand. I mean, it's been addressed, it's consequence. Like I said, they'll be in here at 5 o'clock in the morning and running, and, but other than suspending them or dismissing them from the team, there's we take them out, we sit them, there's a consequence. Obviously, they need to look at if there needs to be a more severe consequence. I don't know. From our end, both texts were for different things. Most of the technical fouls, Voss's technical foul today was the first technical foul for talking to a ref all year. That was the first one. Every other one has been something with an opponent, or Cam's was saying something to a kid where he got called for a charge, may have been a block, and he said, and one, but he stared at the kid, or stared at the kid, and he looked at him and said, and one, and the ref teed him up for that. Now, you can get into the semantics of it, but you don't need to look at the kid and say anything. Plus, it was they called a charge, so it wasn't anything. And Voss's was the first one all year that was something that was said to an official, and it's just it's stupid, and it's selfish. It's putting yourself above the team. It's detrimental to their pro careers, to their value as players. It's detrimental to their teammates. You could pretty much check mark it any way you want, and again, the amount of sit-down conversations, the amount of meetings we've had about it, the amount of consequencing we've done, bringing people to talk to them individually. I mean, we've covered the gamut of things you can do at this point. You know, they've either got to grow up. Both those guys are older guys. Both those guys are at the stage of their career where they need to take steps forward in terms of their maturity and man up and play basketball. It's you know, to me, all that stuff is fake toughness. You know, I tell them all the time, it's fake tough. Toughness is finishing through contact. Toughness is getting on the floor for loose ball. Toughness is taking a charge. Toughness is a vertical contest. You know, nothing worse than you know, and I'm not saying those guys aren't tough, because Cam Henry took 3 charges today. I mean, he plays his tail off, but nothing worse than all that stuff, all that riffraff, because that's all fake toughness.
Any more questions for Coach?
Robbie, obviously a difference maker when he was on the floor for you today, just had a little bit of foul trouble, obviously going against a handful of a guard assignment on his own right. Just what are you hoping that, you know, today kind of was a lesson for him? Obviously still a freshman, still learning how to play at this level against this kind of competition.
Yeah, I mean, it's that was you know, for Robbie, you know, we tried to guard Mast, you know, one-on-one, because we were worried about their 3-point shooting. They're the second best 3-point shooting team in the league, and they've had a number of games they make 12, 13 threes, and you know, we thought, you know, in the game plan was to try to play him one-on-one. He got in foul trouble early. Mast is a load. He's the best post player in the league. I thought overwhelmed him early. He got in foul trouble. I thought Cade came in and gave us a really good, you know, really good spark with his physicality.